Hi, everybody. I thought I would just record something as a little midweek shout out and check in. I just got off the phone of another Zoom call with Bishop Doug and a whole bunch of other clergy, and all sort of checking in about how we're doing, how our congregations are doing, how we're doing. And it was good. And that was after a day of phone calls with folks. And so I'm relishing getting to talk with those of you who pick up. It's really just so encouraging to hear so many of you taking things in stride and being cautious and wise and waiting and seeing. So I'm just so impressed with how much good sense there is among St. Paul's folks. And, keep on doing such a great job of staying home. That's so, so important. I just appreciate you is what I guess I want to say on that. And of course, this afternoon, we also got word that the schools are going to be closed through May 4th in Holyoke. I know there's a incredible amount of work going into making sure that students and their families are still getting food. I got to talk today with somebody on one of the mayor's new response task forces, who's just sort of collecting info and trying to put together good thinking on ways to respond to food insecurity, to housing concerns, and so on and so forth. So today I am encouraged that there are so many people so thoughtful and so smart and not fear-driven, trying our best to respond and to not freak out, to be cautious and careful. But wow, there's so much compassion and there's so much care. So that is what is definitely giving me a lift today, even though it's a bit gray and not as bright as we'd be hoping for these first few days of spring. I guess I feel the need to sort of underscore that regardless of what is happening in our national politics, there's no reason to think that anything will be back to normal by Easter. That's crazy. What that means for us as the people of God, a resurrection people, is going to mean something different than I think probably any of us have ever experienced in our entire lives. On this meeting I was just in, there's some really great resources being developed for Holy Week at home. I continue to be open to ideas, suggestions, ideas that people want in terms of online options, meeting spaces, all of that. What I'm not going to do is just start randomly setting up a whole bunch of technology that I'm not sure people are actually interested in. So I guess I need to hear from you about, if there's Zoom meetings or more streaming of things that would be helpful. Let me know. It's, email is good, priest@stpaulsholyoke.org. I'm not going to repeat my phone number right here to have it blasted across the entire internet, but if you're checking your other communications, it's there. So we will pray. We will persist. We will keep using the good sense that God has given us. We will care for one another. I know many of you have now received phone calls from the vestry. Hopefully there are, more on the way, and from me as well. But know that you are not alone, even in this period of strange isolation. I just keep wanting to repeat that because we're all in this waiting together. We're all in the strangest Lent ever. The weirdest spiritual wilderness I know I've ever felt. So we're really getting a taste of what peoples throughout the centuries have survived in terms of plagues and famines and all of those things. They remained faithful. They remained God's people. And of course, as you've heard me say before, that doesn't mean you don't have periods of doubt. That doesn't mean you don't have periods of what feels like despair, certainly depression. And know that I'm thinking a lot about mental health resources and all of that. It's okay to not be okay right now. Go to bed, get up, it's a new day. There's all there is to it. Sometimes things are going to feel completely not okay. And that's part of the deal. So, just as so many of you have been doing so beautifully in just being cautious and careful and waiting and not rushing to any, dooms scenarios or crazy extremes, do the same as you hold your own heart, as you pay attention to how you're doing in terms of anxiety and stress. We've got a ways to go. I don't like that. I expect you don't like it either. But only by just going carefully, slowly, compassionately as we're possibly able, and not going to the biggest freak out we can think of. That's the only way that we keep on going. We would do well to learn from folks in recovery. One day at a time is the name of the game. What we know today is going to be different than what we know tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So we're all learning together. And I guess I find a lot of solace and comfort in that. We are really in this together. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what they're doing. I realized yesterday, it's like, everybody who's working is suddenly working a totally new job that they have to learn from scratch. And if you can remember the last time you started a new job, you know how incredibly stressful that is. So we're all on a really steep learning curve here together. And we all have to do our best to just, make room and grace for one another. Because probably none of us is really at our best right now. I know that's true for me. So, getting to hear from you, getting to hear the stories about how you're making life work as best you can right now is just a fantastic gift. And I can't wait to talk to the rest of you. Till then, know that I pray all the time. I mean, there's some pretty desperate, ugly prayers sometimes, but you're in my heart. And, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us holding each other. It's a whole network. We're in this whole basket of prayer and love and care for one another. And God holds that basket. So we're in it. We're doing it. You're doing it. It's 6:00 now? You've made it this far in the day. Good job. In a couple days, I'll send out another message and reflection on some of this week's readings. So much love. God bless you and keep you, and know that there's nothing that can separate you from the love of God. All right, till soon. Bye.